What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of MUT Tips. I'm your host, Sean Taylor from the Made Up Theater. And before we jump in, as always, make sure to like the video down below, comment with somebody you would like addressed in a future video, and as always, subscribe on YouTube down below to be informed of upcoming videos and live streams. Ring that bell. But let's jump into today's topic. Who are you talking to? In improv, the person you're talking to or interacting with is very much going to help define your character. Because think about it, characters interact differently with different people because different people have different statuses, different characters, different personalities, which is going to cause you to present different behavior. Have you ever in an improv scene been like a mustache twirling villain, like, yeah, I'm gonna tie you up on the railroad tracks? So that character can be very one-dimensional, kind of a caricature rather than a character. But we can instill in that character some life and depth, because it's all based on who that character interacts with and how their behavior alters. So yeah, they'll act like that type of person when, they're facing the protagonist or the hero of the story, or they're addressing the captive. But what about you take this person and have them interact with their father, maybe the person who taught them the way they were? That drastically starts to change this person's status. So now we get to see this, mustache twirling villain in an area where he's low status. Maybe he's uncomfortable or reveres the father and respects the father. Or maybe you put this person with someone who, they have a crush on. Not they're taken captive, but they have an honest-to-God crush on somebody. And now this person has insecurity, lack of confidence as this mustache-twirling villain. Or take this person and have them interact with a cashier at Target. They're gonna interact differently with different behavior towards different people, but we need to show those different people. Let's take Homer Simpson from The Simpsons. Homer acts very differently around Marge, for example, than he would interact around Mr. Burns, who's his boss. Marge, someone he loves, is romantically involved with. They have scuffles and fights and stuff, but they still very much come together in the end because they love each other. But Mr. Burns is, the oppressive employer who never truly acknowledges Homer's existence, forgets his name constantly, and they clash a lot too. So as you can see, who you're talking to is very important when defining a character. In fact, actors use this question all the time. Who am I talking to in this scene? And that helps indicate how they present themselves with their behavior, their tone, their physicality. They look at their status, and that helps them get in the character. And that helps you as improvisers get into the character as well. As soon as you recognize who you're with and their relationship and your status to them, then it's gonna help you actually feel truly connected to the scene and your scene partner. You can also take situation into account. So for example, Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson, their relationship is constant. Father-son relationship, that's all they will ever be. But the way they interact with each other changes, just like any relationship. So for example, when Bart does something bad, Homer acts accordingly. If Bart does something good or something that makes Homer proud, Homer acts accordingly and is proud of Bart at that point. There's even situations where Bart kind of takes on a more high status character and Homer just kind of follows his guidance. Because Homer's not a very bright guy, so sometimes Bart takes the reign of being the smarter character. And that's interesting, right? Because again, the relationship isn't changing, but the situations that they're in affects the behavior that they have towards each other. Let's put this to practice, shall we? I'm going to give you a name as a suggestion, and I'm gonna put a timer on the screen for about 10, 15 seconds. You can always pause the video if you want longer. During this time, I want you to start becoming this character. Give this character some physicality. Feel free to walk around your room or environment a bit. Maybe talk, be this character, use their voice. You can say, I am name, the name that I give you. And another thing you could do is maybe say a line such as I am name and I'm the kind of person who blanks, So if the name was Petunia Buttercup, after I get into character, I might say, I'm Petunia Buttercup and I'm the kind of person who doesn't dwell on the dark things in the world. Something along those lines. That kind of helps establish your philosophy, your point of view. So whatever you want to do, you're going to get into a character for about 10, 15 seconds, and then after that, on screen, I'm going to say, I am blank, who is your blank. okay? So I am name who is your relationship. That's all I'm gonna say. And then I want you to take about like 5 seconds to respond to my line, you know? Just give a line that helps define and justify how you feel towards my character based on simple information that I give you. And we'll see like how your behavior might change based on different characters who are in your life. All right, let's jump into it. Your character name is Sergeant Splint. Sergeant Splint. Take about 10-15 seconds. You can pause the video if you want longer and become this character, and then I'm gonna come in and be some different characters in your life.
I'm Dante, your very successful entrepreneur brother.
Hey, what's up? I'm Leonard. I'm your 16-year-old son. I'm Mr. Hendrick. I'm your HR manager, and people have been complaining about you. I'm Dr. Meredith McCaw, and I'm your therapist. I hear you've had a bad week.
I'm Senior Splint, your father, and you disappoint me, son.
I'm Maggie. I'm your daughter, and God, you embarrass me.
Hey, I'm your cousin Tony, man. I just fixed your leak in your kitchen. You really should have handled it earlier.
I'm your Australian Shepherd dog, Pop-Tart, and I love you. And I'm Mitzi, your wife, and it seems like you're having a hard week. Awesome, how was that? Did interacting with different people in your life change your behavior, your status? Did it change specific things about you, like the way you moved yourself, the way you talked, your emotions? Take note of it, because you just played a very well-defined character if you saw yourself going through different changes. If you were just angry towards everybody, then that shows that you are more of a one-dimensional character. You can only default to anger. But during different relationships who are maybe giving you different information, it could change you, you know? You can be loving as like Sergeant Splint or whatever character you do, right? You can show different characteristics because we're people. We have different characteristics and different ways we interact with people. So have fun, make sure you know who you're talking to and feel something towards them and let your behavior be impacted. And that concludes this episode of MUT Tips, everybody. Thanks a lot for checking it out. If you enjoyed the video, again, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll check you out next time for another episode of MUT Tips, baby. Bye.